r/relationships. Throwragapist says, should I, 30 meters, tell my wife, 31F, about my gay past? Me, 30 meters, and my wife, 31F, have been married for 8 months. We dated each other for 2 years. I'm very happy with my wife. She's an amazing person. But I feel like I'm not being completely honest with her about my past. When I started dating my wife, I told her that I was a virgin, but that wasn't entirely true. Before I met my wife, I used to go through a gay phase because I had no luck with women. It wasn't just one gay experience. I had multiple gay experiences with men. I have mixed feelings about my gay phase. On one hand, I feel like it's completely fine to experiment with the same gender. On the other hand, I feel like I have done something bad. Experimenting with the same gender didn't make me gay or bi. I still identify as straight. I'm wondering if I should tell my wife about my gay phase. I'm scared that she will think that I'm gay. I don't want her to think that I'm using her as a beard. What should I do? Should I tell my wife about my gay past? TL, doctor, I told my wife I was a virgin when I met her, but that's not entirely true. I actually used to have sex with other men because I had no luck with women. Yeeted says, honestly, you didn't lie. You were a virgin. But you are hiding something from your life partner. Everyone here freaking out also has secrets, just maybe not as big as yours. Take it to the grave if you want, but maybe try and see what you can tell her slowly. There's some things I won't tell people because they are private and I've made peace with them and don't need to be judged, but for a life partner, I'd want to tell them everything. Aggressive_Sky8492 says, I think your wife will be more concerned about the lie about being a virgin than whether you're gay. You need to tell her. Local_signature 5325 says, the op sounds like Josh Hawley, Tom Cotton and every other conservative figure who is a closeted gay man. 3 meters S a human says, she doesn't already know, and you are married? Well, yeah. If you want to spend the rest of your life with her. Shelf Life Incorporated says, before I met my wife, I used to go through a gay phase because I had no luck with women. It wasn't just one gay experience. I had multiple gay experiences with men. The details of these instances matter. Were you just fooling around with friends as a teenager? Was this over a period of months or years? Were you legitimately attracted to any of these men? Chronic Pain Princess says, no expert, but I think your binary idea of sexuality could be part of what might be causing you grief here. There aren't just pigeonholes like gay, straight, bi. Sexuality is a spectrum. Having a rigid idea of what it means to be bisexual/pansexual or multigender attracted is limiting and creating this idea of shame. You can be bi and never sleep with someone of the opposite gender. You can be bi and only sleep with people the same gender as you. You can be only attracted to women and then have Brad Pitt as the only dude on earth you bang. It's all valid. My view on sexuality is that it's a journey that is yours. If you don't want to tell your wife, you aren't obligated, but in doing that, you're kind of admitting that you don't trust her to handle it with grace. It surprises me that you lied to your wife about your virginity, but you don't have a time machine, so. That's pretty much done now. I think that was a big frick up because sexual history matters when having sex with someone. She deserved to know if you possibly could have STDs. I don't know about anyone else, but I couldn't be partnered with someone that I do not trust or that I don't share the same values as. My view is, if she's homophobic, then she's not really a kind person. And if she can't see you as anything but gay after you tell her, her experience is limited and uninformed. I think you need to understand and unpack your sexuality by yourself first before bringing your wife's take into the mix. I'd suggest perhaps a therapist, cause it sounds like you have a lot of judgment towards yourself, and I think you don't deserve to. But I don't think this marriage is built on a solid foundation. You lied at the start and now you don't trust her enough to tell her the story of you? Red flag, friend. Doriori says, I tell my partner everything. Would it cause you to divorce? If it would, is that the kind of person you want to stay married to? Fleetwood Marshall says, your wife deserves to know the truth. Keeping secrets and lying to her for so long is dishonest and will affect her butt. If you just are honest from now on and tell her everything so she can have closure on the situation is best. If she really loves you, I hope she will forgive you. Point there. Lie is the problem and the length of time you kept this from her is not a nice thing to do to someone you love. r/relationships. Lincolnberry Anxious 51 says, B, 34 meters, told me, 31F, that he doesn't know what he wants in his life. Boyfriend was feeling down and didn't text me for 8 hours. Texts me the next day and says he doesn't know what he wants in his life. He's 34 and has a good job and so on. IDK what he's talking about TBH, but I hope he's not going to break up with me. This could be about other aspects in life, but it's scaring me and making me feel this has something to do with our relationship. I asked him and said that I'm here to listen to him and that I'm home today if he wants to talk about what he's going through. He didn't answer me. TL, doctor, him saying he doesn't know what he wants in life makes me anxious that this is about our relationship. He didn't say that, but IDK what else can it be? C4H10 Botan says, he might going to break up with you out of something he's going through that not related to you. First of all, focus on yourself. If you're afraid that he'll leave, you'll not be able to support him. The more space and freedom he'll get right now, the best. You can't do anything about his decision. You can only choose to do the right thing as a person and truly be a friend for him right now. The less demanding you'll be, the easiest it'll be for both of you. Transdested says, he might be depressed. Maybe just ask if it's anything to do with you? Or ask what he means? Farcar55 says, IDK what he's talking about TBHY, aren't you curious enough to ask? But I hope he's not going to break up with me. That's making your partner's feelings about you, rather than trying to empathize and support him. r/relationships. Goddess Alcoholic says, mutual friend/friend, all 19F, spreading lies about me, 19F, to my BF, 19 meters. I'm getting paranoid about on where my relationship stands. Me and my BF are both 19, all of my friends are 19 too. After being in a relationship with my BF for like a year, he told me during a heated argument that Ritter, 19F, name changed, mutual friend, has told our other mutual friends Mary and Lisa, both 19F, name changed, mutual friend, that I've sent nudes to Nate, 20 meters, name changed. I've never talked with Nate, he's just my ex's cousin. I inquired Ritter about this, she told me she has no idea about this whole thing. Then I showed my BF proofs that I have never sent Nate anything, not even a text. Well, asking Nate about this whole thing was the first conversation we had. Whoever made this whole rumor is dumb ASF, cause the only social media I use is Reddit. I asked my BF to text Mary about this thing. She told him IDK, I've heard about it, I guess it was before both of you became a couple. He asked her, but you told me that she sent those during our relationship. Mary said, maybe during the first phase of your relationship, IDK. Lisa told me about it, and Lisa heard it from Ritter. My boyfriend probably believes them more than me, cause Mary and Lisa are his childhood friends. Others even joke about him marrying one of them. Bruh, am I getting betrayed by this weird ass throuple, friend circle? What should I do to avoid anything like this happening in future? I've been getting nightmares about having my nudes leaked ever since that incident. TLDR, BFs and my mutual friend or friends told him that I've sent nudes to another man. I've never talked with this man, having doubts about betrayal and need guidance. Sugar Goated 1 says, cut everyone off. These aren't your friends. And you're lucky. This is an eye-opening thing for you where your boyfriend, who you're dating, and you have a relationship with, can't trust you over his friends? That's ridiculous. There's no trust. There's no relationship. Move on. You can do better. Dow Child says, if he doesn't believe you, there's not much of a future between you. Trust is important and apparently he trusts these people more. At this point there's nothing for you to do. The game of telephone is having a life of its own by now. BTW, those aren't mutual friends, they aren't your friends. See for a while where this goes, but maybe this relationship is over. Don't send nudes to anyone, including your BF. It's easier to fake it these days, but you don't have to provide the source material yourself. Has your ex leaked anything or been involved, other than just being Nate's cousin? r/relationships. This underscore is underscore my alias says. Not so innocent text. My 51F husband, 42 meters, texted a woman yesterday, I still think about you. He has had a history of being inappropriate with several women in the past. I thought we were past that. Then this text yesterday. He is telling me that it was an innocent text. I don't think there is any way that wording, that it is innocent. I'm trying to figure out if this is something I should press the issue on. It seems like he hasn't changed. I don't know if I can continue with the doubt if he texts other women. This doubt is killing me. Is this recoverable? Is it okay? Is it inappropriate? TLDR husband texted another woman, I still think about you. Natajidi says, quite sincerely, how did you think it would end if you chose to date someone you knew had a history of being inappropriate with other women? Shelf Life Incorporated says, this doubt is killing me, allow me to remove all doubt, he hasn't changed. He's still being inappropriate with other women. Mo4974 says, my question would be, WTF are you thinking about when you think of her? Because you obviously didn't think about me, your wife, the one you keep hurting with your faithless behavior. If you're involved with a serial cheater, whether physical or emotional, it never gets better. You never get past it, because they never quit, they just get better at hiding it. They get better at lying to your face about who they really are. There's a little voice in the pit of your being, and it is telling you something. It's reminding you about all the times he put his phone down abruptly when you walked in the room, or added/changed a passcode. It's reminding you about all the times he said he was doing something, just for a later statement or fact to occur that suggested otherwise. That voice is reminding you about all the times you felt something was off, and you asked him, are we okay? And he blew off your concern, as if you were delusional. Listen to that voice. Don't doubt it for a second, because it's there for your protection and your benefit. You know in the core of your being that this man is never going to change. He's made his decision concerning how your marriage is going to exist. Now it's on you to decide if you want to live in it or dream something better for yourself. Personally, I don't recommend remaining with an unfaithful and disloyal spouse. You deserve much better than that. One Blue Shoe says, not okay. He's dropping her breadcrumbs by the sound of it. Smashed_Adams says, it's not okay, and especially not okay given his history. You can't trust him. r/relationships. Other_Flamingo says, I, F25, realized today that I've only ever had one real crush my entire life. The crush lasted 3 years and never developed into a relationship. It's been 3 years since I've seen him, and I still find myself thinking of him occasionally, sometimes worse than others. Since him, I haven't met anyone who makes me excited or who I'm attracted to. I know this is partly due to the lack of socialization from the pandemic, and even now I don't go out very often. But for how much time has passed, I still feel very silly that it seems I'm not over him. I don't understand what is going on with me. It doesn't feel normal to have only ever loved one person, and to go 3 years without meeting someone else even remotely attractive or interesting. I must be doing something wrong. TL, Doctor, I've only had one crush, and I'm still not over it years later. I don't understand why or what to do about it. Belbert says, you say this doesn't feel normal. But it really is for many people. It's really common to have a singular person you focus your sexual energy, fantasies, daydreams etc. towards. This keeps the attraction fresh and fed. When you combine that with not putting effort into building attraction to others, then it absolutely makes sense. I very rarely get spontaneous crushes. I'm still an extremely sexual person though. And there have been years of my life where I didn't feel sexual at all. Our sexualities are not linear when it comes to how much oomph they direct to our libidos. Basically you're normal. Find what works for you. I encourage you to build connections in friendship, romantic or otherwise, but also celebrate that you're able to build personal emotional security on your own so beautifully. Vast Indication 9300 says, you should try reaching out to that person and telling them how you feel. Thecourt says, I don't think it's that weird. I get more excited about characters in books than real life lol. And also lately I see a lot of posts like this over in the 2x sub and ask women over 30, so maybe it's endemic for women lately, and also depressing haha. I'm gonna get downvoted to hell in this sub for saying this, but I think men could step up a bit lately, because not a lot around me are a big catch and I live in a big metropolitan city, which is usually a more liberal diverse place to meet people. Way of the Nutria says, I can go 4 years without feeling attracted to anyone. It does happen that way sometimes. Makes sense that you still think of this man at times, if he is the only person you've ever had those feelings for. Do you want to meet someone new? If so, spread your net wide. Do everything you can to increase your social circle. Say yes to every invitation and you'll increase your chances of finding a date, as well as plenty of new pals who can introduce you to their pals and so on. r/relationships. List1 says, how do I, 21F, tell my parents about my boyfriend, 23 meters? So I've been dating this guy for 4 months and it's going well. I already met his parents and his friends, but my parents don't even know that I'm dating somebody. They're suspecting it, but I always kind of lie about it to them. I don't know why I'm so scared to tell them. I guess I just never even told them that I have a crush before or anything, and it's so weird to bring this up. I feel like they would start looking at me differently if they knew that I'm being romantic/sexual with someone lol. And of course, I feel like they would judge him. How do I get over this fear? It's getting hard to keep this relationship a secret. TL, Doctor, I've been dating a guy for 4 months, and I'm scared to tell my parents about him. What do I do? Halathir 9,922,331 says, you are an adult in a consensual relationship. There is nothing to be ashamed of. Mention it in passing if anything, and remember you owe them zero explanation for your choices. They shouldn't be so thick-headed to think you would never date either, even if they may not want to believe it for whatever pointless reason. Be strong and understand it's your life and your choices. Gentonic 321 says, are your parents particularly judgmental or controlling? Are you embarrassed about relationships and sex? You're an adult and you can choose not to tell them anything, or you can tell whoever you trust the most if you want to. Also, just cause you tell someone that you've got a boyfriend, that in no way allows them to any information you're not comfortable sharing. Don't feel pressured. Stabbercrabs83 says, you are an adult. I think you need to change your mindset. I don't blame you more than for this situation. Why on earth would it be scary to say you have found someone that makes you happy at the age of 21? It's not the same thing, but my 13-year-old daughter quite confidently told me she likes girls and is kinda sorta maybe seeing someone. You can't expect a positive relationship with your kids if they don't feel confident telling you about their life. Rip the band-aid off. If they give you a hard time, shut them down. Deadly Ducky says, just come clean and tell them, then ask if he can come for dinner so he can meet them. r/relationships. Chaotic Neutral 49 says, when and how should I break up? Myself, 16F, and my girlfriend, 16F, have been dating for about 3 months now, but I want to end it, mainly because I just don't have feelings. The issue is that she's repeatedly told me she has a Valentine's Day gift made, and she's already been talking about next year. Something she's done as a gift before is write letter for me to open at different times, and one is already addressed for my next birthday. She is very nice, but I don't know when the right time is or how I should end things. Any advice would be appreciated. TL, doctor, I want to break up with my girlfriend, but don't want to hurt her and do it the wrong way or at the wrong time. Equalend7695 says, never be ashamed of doing the right thing. End it now and end it with grace and respect. Redidlander says, if you already made up your mind that the best time was yesterday, the second best time is now. Typhoon Kane says, break up now. It is not kindness to lead something you are 100% out on. There's a reason to stay in situations where you're uncertain. There's never a good reason to lead on others when your decision is certain. It is not kind or compassionate to waste the time of someone you've cared deeply about. Gingerlorax says, do it before Valentine's Day if you let her give you the gift and have a romantic night together and then break up with her, it will be worse. Rixbits says, end it before Valentine's Day for sure. Otherwise you'll tarnish the holiday for her and that's cruel. As for how, just tell her, like you said it here. I just don't have the deep romantic feelings that I think I should, and so I'm not as invested in the relationship as I'd need to be for this to be healthy. You deserve better. r/relationships. Onneat3116 says, long distance and losing hope. To make a long story short, I, 24 meters, have been with my girlfriend, 22F, for 3 years. We had a rocky journey at the beginning because she had a lingering ex that she had a really hard time letting go of, despite me telling her I didn't want them talking/hanging out. She never cheated on me that I know of. Whatever, we eventually got past that and it never became a recurring issue. Ever since that whole issue, however, I felt like my trust was taken for granted far too often, and over time I feel myself not caring as much about the relationship. The woman I used to see myself raising kids with and getting married to is not the woman I see today. Another issue is that we are on complete opposite ends when it comes to politics, especially when it comes to topics like gun control, abortions, etc. Don't get me wrong, she is literally the sweetest girl I've ever met, and she shows that she still loves me so much and wants a future with me. To add on, I will be moving across the country to attend medical school this August. As much as I'm trying to make it work and tell myself that we can make it work, I just don't think it can. Here's the really challenging part. We have already booked numerous trips from now through July and her birthday is smack in the middle. I don't want to just wait for med school to start in August to potentially break up with her because that looks like I'm using her for the fun adventures until I move. What the hell do I do? Yes, I still do love her very much, but the feelings have diminished and a future with her just seems super foggy because of the above reasons and more. Should I see how it works out while I'm in med school? TL, Doctor, my GF and I have been dating for 3 years, but the things that happened in the beginning of our relationship have caused me to perhaps lose feelings over time. In addition, I'm moving away for med school in the fall. We have trips planned in the interim plus her day, so I don't know what to. Ryan Cool says, if the feelings aren't there, that's a huge red flag. If you have complete opposite feelings when it comes to politica/religion etc. That's a huge red flag. I was in many relationships in my 20s and early 30s. I chose not to settle down until I was 36. By that time I had really figured out who I was and what I wanted in a partner. Now I'm in the most perfect relationship I could ever imagine. AMD recently engaged. Tuzoots says, after reading this, it sounds like you want to break up with her. You didn't list many reasons for why you should stay together other than she's really sweet. Beginning Shine 6766 says, here's the really challenging part. We have already booked numerous trips wrong. The really challenging part is you and your girlfriend have fundamental differences in how you see the world. You don't trust her and you don't see yourself being with her long term. Just break up now, obviously, cancel the trips and lose the money and find other things to do this summer. It's just money in this case. Good luck in med school. Sounds like a nice fresh start for you. r/relationships. No_access_6969 says, found my 28F husband's 32 meters secondary account. So like the title says, I found it. It was filled with lots of NSFW pictures of him targeted for the DL community. Lots of messages back and forth between gay men and him. What breaks my heart is that he's trying to meet up with them too. I feel absolutely gutted. These past few months we have been going through something that is very rough emotionally and physically. Every time I tried to engage with him, he'd change the subject. I thought he was just drained from work, but now I know he's been seeking attention and talking to other men. WTF do I do? I feel pitied. TLDR, my husband is talking to other men, don't know what to do. Weird_vegetable_4441 says, sorry beloved, seems it's time to call it. Feelings are one thing. He's trying to go behind your back. CMNFCTR says, it'd be good to know if your husband has been out as bi, or if this is the first you're hearing of it. Doesn't change the end run, which is your husband is cheating on you, at the least emotionally, and that is not okay. You don't mention what you're going through, but it'd be curious to know if his account existed before this event in your relationship, if he's acting out, if this is a longer thing, etc. While I'm on board with the other advice here, that your husband should become your ex, I'm going against the grain to say there should be a conversation to determine if he's coming to a sexual reality about himself. This advice is mostly moot if he was out to you as bi beforehand. Almightier says, if there is no engagement to discuss, there is nothing more you can do. Just evaluate if you want to still be in a relationship with someone who is living a separate sexual life with other men. Morty_of says, it's over, go find yourself a hot straight man. Smashed_Adams says, talk to a lawyer about getting the divorce process started. This was not a one-time mistake or accident, not that cheating just once mattered, but it was a continuous behavior. I honestly don't see how you could ever trust him again. He doesn't want to change, he doesn't want to interact, take that as he does not want this marriage. You deserve better for yourself. Smirts says, get the divorce process going. Don't waste your time with fixing him. r/relationships. Mystery_XX says, my boyfriend, 21 meters, ignores me, 21F, for days or weeks at a time. My boyfriend and I have been together, on and off, for about 6 years now. I truly do love him, and would do anything for him, but for the past 2 years our relationship and the way he treats me has been going downhill. Okay, so starting off he had to get surgery, and had to be out of work for 6 months. I let him basically move into my apartment, so I could take care of him, took him to every appointment, bought him anything he needed. When he got better he left, but still would need me to do certain things for him due to him not having a car, or I would let him take my car if I was not working. He counted on me for basically everything. Fast forward to now, he got a new job, a new car, and he's treating me horrible. I recently went through a very hard time. My grandmother and grandfather who raised me both passed away within a week of each other, and he completely ignored me during that time. I literally was begging him to answer the phone because they died, and he said he didn't answer because his best friend who came in from the army wanted to see him, and he hadn't seen him in a long time. He also said he knew if he answered me, I would have just been crying begging him to come over, and he wasn't gonna because of his best friend. It seems like this is clockwork now. He will ignore me for days/weeks and then come back around and act like the nicest guy ever for a couple weeks to a month, and then eventually start treating me like I don't exist. But if I even just take a nap and don't answer him back for an hour, he's showing up at my apartment and banging on my door asking me who I have over, and look through every room in my apartment to see if I'm hiding someone there. Also, some things he says to me anymore are horrible. He will call me anorexic, I'm on the thinner side, tell me no one will want me, and if I leave him and start talking to someone else they won't want a relationship with me, just sex. I don't know what to do. I haven't been with anyone else but him really, and the things he says to me makes me not even wanna try with anyone else. TL, doctor, my boyfriend of 6 years ignores me, and I don't know what to do. D. Trastevere says, a guy who ignores you for weeks is not your boyfriend. McMurmel says, dump this guy. He wouldn't respond to your calls because you might be upset after all you did for him. Break up. You don't let this guy treat you so poorly. You don't allow him to come through your home. Break up and block him. This relationship has run its course. You've been with him since teenagers. Move on. Omidia Lucia says, your boyfriend is emotional abusive. Imaginary_mountain55 says, he's abusive and you should leave him. Poots_and_boots says, this is beyond sad, you deserve so much better. Sorry about your grandparents. r/relationships. Throw a question to ask says, my friend, 19F, lied about wanting to be in a romantic relationship with me, 20 meters. I feel horrible. This one girl I knew made me feel like I'm nothing. As I'm worth nothing and don't have feelings myself. I met this girl through my close friend. We talked a little bit over the course of 4 months. Then on my birthday, she got my close friend to tell me that she liked me and wanted to get to know me at a romantic level, just for my close friend to tell me that she was lying a couple of weeks later. And the fact is that no one would have ever told me if I didn't catch my friend talking about it to my other friends in secrecy. What hurts the most is that I put my heart out there, and from our talks, it seemed as if she was interested, but it turned out to being a facade. I know what you're probably thinking. I hit on her or tried to flirt with her during those months of getting to know her. That is not the case. I kept things very friendly with her for multiple personal reasons. It just hurts me that someone would lie to me like that. Not only that, but I'm also mad/disappointed at myself for believing that she actually wanted to get to know me on a romantic level. She acts as if nothing has happened and continued to ask me a very inappropriate question an hour after my friend told her that he told me the truth. I just don't know how to escape from this hole, nor do I know what to do. I've been feeling like this for months. It's to the point where I deleted all my social media, stopped enjoying watching movies/films, and stopped listening to music. I'm pretty sure I've fallen into depression, haha, but man, I wish I just had someone to talk to about this, because I've never been through this. I do go to the gym, and I also like to read scholarly articles regarding my major, so I try to keep myself busy. But man, oh man, does it get hard sometimes. TL, doctor, met new friend, and stayed friendly with her for 4 months. She told my close friend she wanted to get to know me at a romantic level. Turned out she lied after I found out my close friend talking about it to my other friends in secrecy. Thanks. No Bussy Hussy says, your close friend is a big problem here, not the girl. Thiscoldba Massive says, you and she and your friend are way too old for this crap. Ask her if she wants to go out on a date. If she says no, then that's her right, but it's your right not to want to hang with a manipulative person like her anymore. Artistic Garage 9819 says, info, have you even spoken to her? Did you get her side of the story? How do you know your friend isn't just making things up? Could he be jealous and trying to sabotage? You're only hearing this from your friend, a third party. Maybe he cold faked the conversation hoping you'd walk into it? IDK, but I hope you at least checked in with her first and got the whole story first. Smashed_Adams says, yeah, it sucks, but it honestly sounds like you're taking this way too hard. I recommend cutting those people out of your life as you don't need them. r/relationships. Ron Wang says, help needed, is it too mean to say so? My husband and I are both 30s, I'm female, he is male. We have been married for 5 years and have 1 kid. Sometimes I forgot where I had put stuff, and I would ask him if he had any clue. His response was always, like you should have put it in the same place. First, I agree it is a good habit to put stuff in the same place, and I do it most of the time. Second, even he forgot sometimes, and my response is to help him without lecturing. Like today, he forgot where he'd put his hat. I said no worries, he could use mine. It is sport band, so it is unisex. Later today, I asked if he had seen the baby brush. I put it the same place, but it somehow dropped onto the high chair, maybe pulled by the baby. He said the same sentence to me, you should have put it in the same place. I feel so hurt. I've told him I know it is true, but don't always lecture me. It is mean. He did not agree he was mean, and asked me post to see others' opinions. That's why I'm here. I appreciate all the comments and thoughts. Thank you very much. // TL, doctor, / is my husband mean to lecture me when I forgot where I have put stuff? Initial_donut_6098 says, is it mean? I dunno. I think of mean of being more active. This is more passively hurtful, a way of communicating that he not only isn't going to be helpful, he's going to be actively unhelpful by offering a statement so blindingly obvious that it borders on contemptuous. Mental Composer says, yeah, he's being mean and unhelpful to boot. He needs to get out of that habit before your child gets older. Little people need lots of help finding their stuff. Skitten says, not only is it mean, but it is also foolish and counterproductive. It's foolish because he doesn't know that you didn't. He assumed you didn't, but it turned out he was probably wrong. It's also mean because he assumes the worst of you without reason. But it's also counterproductive because why does he say it? It doesn't help anything. It doesn't accomplish a single positive thing. The only function it serves is to try to make you feel bad. So, why is he doing something that accomplishes absolutely nothing but to make you feel bad? Does he enjoy you feeling bad? What does he say his motive is for saying it? What is he trying to accomplish? Princess_ferocious says, yes. It's unkind and it's not helpful. You should have is always pointless, cause it's too late, you didn't. If he thinks you have a problem with losing things because of where you put them, he could suggest good places to keep things, or he could help you set up useful storage options. But after helping you find the thing, because that's the priority in the moment, until you find it, he can't even be sure that you didn't put it in the same place as always. Like with the brush that got knocked down. Or he might have moved something. He's just borrowed your hat. Did he put it back where it belongs? Taking the time to criticize you for something he's assuming you did instead of helping you with the immediate problem first is thoughtless and unkind. r/relationships. Scorpgeth1120 says, recently found out that my partner of 9 years was shady early on in the relationship, may have cheated. I, 50F, recently found out that 7 months into our relationship my partner, 45 meters, had a female friend from out of state stay with him for a few days when time came for a visit. I had seen a few text notification. This person during this time period, but when I asked him, he said that she's a friend he met online and had known for a long time, but never actually met in person since she lived out of state. He stressed they were just friends. That was okay with me, since I have male friends I've known for years, and I'm not overly possessive. Recently, I found proof that she visited our city twice during the first 7 months we were together, and that she stayed with him at least one of those times. She had posted on social media it, and tagged him in the post. Since he and I are not friends on social media, he has no idea I saw the post. During that time, we only saw each other maybe twice a week at most, as we lived around 40 minutes away from each other, so he could have easily hidden a house guest for a few days. At that time, he lived in a studio. I know he didn't have an inflatable mattress, so I'm assuming she slept in his bed. Also, a few other things. 1. At that time, I had still not met any of his friends or family, so if they saw him with another woman, they would not have thought twice about it. 2. Although we've been together now for 9 years, living together for 3, we do not celebrate our anniversary as he says. It complicates things. My guess is the complicated part is that he was still seeing other people for quite some time into our relationship, and that he became serious a lot later than I did. So, now, after 9 years, living together for 3, what, if anything, do I do with this info? No matter how good things might be now with him, I need to acknowledge he most likely cheated on me, or at the very least, kept a very big secret from me. I'm not sure how to process this. TL. Doctor Summary: I believe I have proof that my partner of 9 years cheated early in the relationship. Natunek says, how has he been the other 8 years and 5 months of our relationship? Has he been respectful and good to you? Action 7 months into a long-term relationship doesn't mean anything. Often people have a few loose ends at the beginning and don't want to lose their new partner. While not telling the truth is not good, I would completely overlook it if his behavior since then has been acceptable. Degenerate Escalus says, is he still in touch with this person? Does he keep other secrets? Sukorgis says, you're old enough to tell him you want to talk about a serious topic. Tell him to listen to understand. Then lay out what you have written and let him know your feelings. Focus on how it makes you feel. Then think about, is there something you want him to do? If so, what is it and how will it affect your relationship? r/relationships. Unknown Reality 7 says, how do you let go of someone you know is not good for you? I, 29F, met a guy, 29 meters, at the end of 2021. We dated for 6 months until we broke up because he said he wasn't ready for a relationship. It has been 8 months since we broke up. Every day I still replay every single moment we shared together. We formed an instant connection. Chemistry was amazing. It felt like I had known him forever. I became so attached to him. In those 8 months, he has popped in and out of my life 4 times. Each time I gave in, hoping that each time he would change his mind about me, but that never happened. I don't know if I can continue this cycle anymore. I'm emotionally drained. I still have strong feelings for him, but the way he keeps coming in and out of my life is leaving me drained. I know what I need to do. But how do I actually do it? How do I tell the man that I love that I can't have him in my life anymore? That I need him to stop contacting me so I can move on peacefully and find someone who can love me genuinely and wholeheartedly. I don't know if I should give him an ultimatum that either he has to stay in my life for good or leave for good. Sigh. I wish he wanted me the way I want him. And he knows how I feel about him. I always expressed my feelings. He just doesn't have those strong feelings like I do. Which should be another reason for me to cut contact, but it's so hard. TLDR, met a guy at the end of 2021, we broke up, but he keeps popping in and out of my life since then, leaving me emotionally drained. Super Beach says, it's not so much him, but you will have to make the decision for yourself. I suggest when you are going down the rabbit hole of thinking about him, you shift your focus to what you are doing in the moment. Are you scrolling your phone or driving? Come back to the moment and live your life. Find things in your own life that you like. Fall in love with that. Eventually you will detach from him. It takes time, and while you are doing that, you should journal. Write out every reason why you should hold on. Then write out every reason you should let go. Then make your decision. One of 2 things will happen. He will become the man you desire him to be, or you move on and find the man you desire. Either way you will get the love you are giving. High on Fiction says, I really suggest going no contact with them. I'm going through something very similar, and it's working for me. Also write down a list of negative/wrongs they've done. Every time you want to reach out, read it out loud. It's good that you see the toxic cycle and stop it. Now work on seeing that you deserve so much more than this. r/relationships. Dolphins to 112 says, happy my BF is getting therapy but. Background info, I, 19F, had a very deep conversation with my BF of 1 year, 19 meters, last night and he brought up that he's ready to get professional help. I've suggested it twice since we've begun dating, but didn't want to push him BC. I know it probably won't be a good experience if he felt pressured like that. So I backed off and waited for him to be ready. He has many deeply rooted issues and cognitive distortions that he recognizes and has expressed to me over time from his childhood traumas. But I won't get into that BC. I don't have his consent to say that on the internet. What I do have his consent for is asking you all for advice. I'm already going to ask my therapist, who I've seen for 3 years before we met. I understand it'll be different for him and want to support him in any way I can. I'm also open to the possibility that it may not be for him. But I'm still happy he's open to trying it out. It takes a lot of courage to do what he's doing, and I'm so proud of him. Has anyone been in his position? What did your partner help/hinder with once you began your mental health journey? Have any of you supported your partner through therapy, even things that are considered common sense? I may be blind to those. TL, doctor, partner is starting individual therapy. Any advice on supporting him as they begin? Any key things to do/avoid? Note, I understand we are young, and my questions come from a place of naivety and ignorance. It's also my first relationship ever, so please keep that in mind. Thank you all to whoever gives any input. Typhoon Kane says, the most self-assuring thing you could do for him is to get him yourself. No matter how good or fair or normal you believe your childhood to have been, I can more or less promise that you hold beliefs that are at best a hindrance to your ability to get and maintain a relationship. For example, your attachment style will dictate signals you send and receive from others, and your ability to distinguish between aggression and vulnerability. I just want you to recognize that all relationships deal in some degree of hard-set habits and tendencies that affect your ability to live your life with another person in concert. Fan says, do some research into CPSTD so you understand exactly where he's coming from. r/relationships. Wrong Grocery 5209 says, I don't know how to explain to my boyfriend that he should care about my major life events. I, 44F, don't know how to talk to my boyfriend, 56 meters, of over a year about how unimportant I constantly feel. Most recently, I was finally able to get the paperwork done with an attorney for finalizing my divorce. It took a long time because I'm scared of my ex. It was a big deal. My boyfriend just talked about his own divorce and then changed the topic. That's it. I feel guilty because I know I'm not entitled to anything. A big congratulations and a hug would have meant a lot. But instead it was like this major life event didn't even register on his radar, except as a reason to talk about himself. Since then, I can't stop crying. I've spent all day in bed and I haven't spoken to him because I don't even know what to say. It's not the first life event that has gone unnoticed. I interviewed for and received a really nice new position at work. Crickets. I have a type of cancer that has a 50% recurrence rate. I've gone 3 years now with no new tumors. When I got another all clear I wanted to celebrate. But it kept getting put off. Because he wanted to spend time with his out-of-state son who was visiting. I eventually just showed up with bubbly and told him we were drinking it, but it was weeks later and it wasn't satisfying. Also, he forgot to buy me a holiday gift and then he went in the office and started rummaging around for something to re-gift me. I tried to tell him he was just making it worse, but he insisted on giving me what he found in there. I had gone without buying all my groceries for weeks to get him several gifts, even though I'm on a really tight budget. I don't know how to talk to him about how I feel, or if it's even worth it. He is aware that his social skills aren't the best, and he never gets offended when I talk to him about things that are bothering me. He means well, but I don't know if this is a hill worth scaffolding. TL/DR, my boyfriend doesn't really pay any attention to my major life events and talks about himself a lot. I don't know how to, or if I should talk to him about it. Threadhead 420 says, he's close to 60 years old. This is who he is. He's not changing. Skitten says, why are you in a relationship with someone who doesn't seem to care about you? Fiery_Valkyrie says, if you want to be someone's priority, then stop dating a guy who doesn't see you as a priority. Ecstatic Diamond 644 says, maybe it was fun and games while you separated, but still married, but now that you are officially divorced he doesn't want a true relationship commitment. Mistaken Morality says, at his age he shouldn't need to be told to care about his partner's life events. Ariel says, someone hitting the 60s soon knows what you want, he just doesn't care to give it to you. Run. r/relationships. Butterfly_orange says, F18, my BF, M18, over the past month has started cursing me out and calling me names if I make him mad. Me F18 and my BF, M18, have been dating for 10 months and it's mostly long distance, although we have met in person a couple of times and it has been great. Recently he has started calling me a bunch of names and cursing at me over text when I make him mad. And he thinks I'm purposely trying to make him mad when most of the time I'm just sharing my feelings or something. I think I'm not purposely ever trying to start anything, but it scares me. I'll say a sentence and then he will just blow up and say he's tired of me or I always ruin everything and a bunch of stuff like that. I've asked him not to do that and he said that I made him do it by making him mad. Which personally I don't think you should ever do in a relationship, no matter how mad you are at someone. But he doesn't get mad at me in person. We have only met a few times though, so I'm not sure if it's a text thing, but it's really starting to get to me how mean he gets over simple things. He also says, if I keep messing up then he will break up me, which he threatens her a lot, and I DK what to do, because I do still care very much at him, and enjoy our time together, but I hate how he treats me like that now. TL, Dr. BF is saying he can curse at me. BC I'm making him mad, and if I don't do that then he won't. Alternative Blonde says, girl, drop this loser. Fast. Kinhito says, anytime a man says you made me do this, run as far and as fast as you can. I know you care about him, but this is abuser behavior in the making. Altajiko says, you don't deserve to be called bad things and you aren't responsible for making him mad. These things are not acceptable in a relationship. When not in an argument, tell him to not curse you out or blame you for things going on in his life. He is an adult and he is responsible for his own feelings. Break up with him and don't accept this behavior from anyone, not just boyfriends. Magicson says, hey, I'm so sorry this is happening. It sounds really hurtful. You are not overreacting when you say that this scares you. It is scary behavior. You are also 100% right that you should never say those things in a relationship, no matter how mad you are. I'm glad he hasn't cursed at you in person yet, because it would be even scarier. But unfortunately it's still very bad that he's been doing so over text, especially when that's your main form of communication in a long distance relationship. It's also extra bad that instead of immediately apologizing for losing his temper, he blames you. Please trust me, his behavior is not just normal getting mad, and there's not an excuse for it. It's not just bad texting, and it's not your fault. I get the sense your gut is telling you to leave this situation, but it's hard because you do care about him and hope it will get better. Please trust your gut. And if you end this and he gets even more mad, stay strong. It's not your fault. We support you. Hope this helps, and I'm excited for you to be in a different relationship in the future where you're treated with respect and kindness. r/relationships. Mountain Flowers 00 says, dealing with back pain, 30F, and employer/boyfriend, 30 meters. I feel like I'm bothering them by telling them. I have pretty mild scoliosis, but after taking an office job, I'm sitting uncomfortably for about 8 hours a day. Before this job, I was active and ran/walked/hiked a lot and worked flexible hours while in school. What was mild back pain has grown into constant pelvic/knee pain and nerve tingling. I feel like my hips are uneven and pulling on things unnaturally. Another potential cause, the mattress. My boyfriend rolls his eyes when I say the mattress tilts upwards where my right hip is raised, but I just stuck to sleeping on tatami mattress. I'm hesitant to tell my employer or assert myself with my boyfriend, but 1. Mild back pain has grown into pelvic/knee/nerve tingling. 2. Not communicating hurts my back, not this. 3. I'm afraid of it growing worse. 4. I'm stuck with this back for life. TLDR, I have back pain and need to convey that in social/professional situations. Limport says, oh honey, you need to learn to advocate for yourself. Why are you with someone who rolls their eyes when you bring up a legitimate concern? Also, I'm not an expert on disability rights, but maybe you can find someone to advise you on what to do with work. If you are diagnosed with something, then in many countries they are required to give you the accommodations you need to work, such as better or special chairs or extra time for breaks, etc. Indigo Trails 2 says, I don't see why you would be afraid. Employers would be happy to help you. It's likely that they just don't know how to help you. Try to think of specific ways that they can help you. Do you need a special backrest? Do you need a footrest? Do you need someone to come and do an ergonomic evaluation of the way that you sit at your desk? How can they help? Regarding your bed, sleeping with another person is nice, but having a good night of sleep and not waking up in pain is far more important. Don't be afraid to have separate beds so that you can do the thing that you need to do. Your back will last you for the rest of your life. Your boyfriend may not. That's all for this video. Was it good? I know not, for I'm a robot. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. This video is the product of an automated process.